Good day, everyone. My name is Milani Dominario, and I'm with Eliza de la Cruz, and we are here to report under Humanistic Theory, Person-Centered Therapy. Carl Ransom Rogers was born on January 8, 1902 in Oak Park, Illinois, USA. Died on February 4, 1987 in La Jolla, California. Subjects of study, non-directive psychotherapy. Carl Rogers is an American psychologist who originated the non-directive or client-centered approach to psychotherapy, emphasizing a person-to-person relationship between the therapist and the client, formerly known as the patient, who determines the course, speed, and duration of treatment. Rogers attended the University of Wisconsin, but his interest in psychology and psychiatry originated while he was a student at Union Theological Seminary, New York City. After 2 years, he left the seminary and took Master of Arts in 1928 and Doctor of Philosophy in 1931 degrees from Columbia University's Teachers College. While completing his doctoral work, he engaged in child study at the Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Children, Rochester, New York, becoming the agency's director in 1930. From 1935 to 1940, he lectured at the University of Rochester and wrote The Clinical Treatment of the Problem Child in 1939, based on his experience in working with troubled children. In 1940, he became a professor of clinical psychology at the Ohio State University, where he wrote Counseling and Psychotherapy in 1942. In it, Rogers suggested that clients, by establishing a relationship with understanding, accepting therapists, can resolve difficulties and gain the insight necessary to restructure their lives. Carl Rogers was also a humanistic psychologist who agreed with the main assumptions of Abraham Maslow. In 1959, he added that for a person to grow, they need an environment that provides them with genuineness or openness and self-disclosure, acceptance or being seen with unconditional positive regard, and empathy or being listened to and understood. Without this, relationship and healthy personalities will not develop as they should, much like a tree will not grow without sunlight and water. Rogers believed that every person could achieve their goals, wishes, and desires in life when, or rather if they did so, self-actualization took place. Carl Rogers rejected the deterministic nature of both psychoanalysis and behaviorism and maintained that we behave as we do because of the way we perceive our situation. He believed also that humans have one basic motive, that is the tendency to self-actualize. Definition of personality. Carl Rogers, known for his theory of personality, which focuses on a self-concept or a person's perceptions and beliefs about himself. Central to Rogers' personality theory is the notion of self or self-concept. This is defined as the organized, consistent set of perceptions and beliefs about oneself. The closer our self-image and ideal self are to each other, the more consistent or congruent we are, and the higher our sense of self-worth. Structures of personality. Carl Rogers believed that three different components constitute the self-concept. First is self-worth, second is self-image, and third is ideal self. Rogers further divided the self into two categories, the ideal self and the real self. The ideal self is the person that you would like to be, and the real self is the person you actually are. Let us discuss the three components of self-concept. First is self-worth or self-esteem. It may be seen as the continuum from very high to very low. It is what we think about ourselves. Rogers believed that feelings of self-worth develop in early childhood and were formed from the interaction of the child with the mother and the father. Second is self-image. Self-image includes the influence of our body image on inner personality. It is how we see ourselves. At a simple level, we might perceive ourselves as a good or bad person, beautiful or ugly. Self-image has an effect on how a person thinks, feels, and behaves in the world. Third is ideal self. Ideal self is the idealized version of yourself. created out of what you have learned from your life experiences, the demands of society, and what you admire in your role models. It is who would you like to be? It consists of our goals and ambitions in life and is dynamic. The ideal self in childhood is not the ideal self in our teens or late 20s. Other concepts on theory of personality. Incongruent. The self-image is different to ideal self. There is only a little overlap and self-actualization will be difficult. However, congruent is the self-image is similar to ideal self. There is more overlap and the person can self-actualize. Carl Rogers believed that for a person to achieve self-actualization, they must be in a state of congruence. A person is said to be in a state of incongruence if some of the totality of their experience is unacceptable to them and is denied for distort in the self-image. According to him, we want to feel, experience, and behave in ways which are consistent with our self-image and which reflect what we would like to be, our ideal self. Rogers' person-centered perspective. 1. People are basically good. 2. Need water, sun, and nutrients to grow into a big oak tree. 3. Genuineness, acceptance, unconditional positive regard, and empathy.
Carl Rogers' theory. Rogers' theory is called person-centered therapy or Rogerian therapy. It diverged from the traditional model of the therapist as expert and moved instead toward a non-directive, empathic approach that empowers and motivates the client in the therapeutic process. Carl Rogers' theory is based on his belief that every human being strives for and has the capacity to fulfill his or her own potential. Also, person-centered therapy has a tremendous impact on the field of psychotherapy and many other disciplines. Person-centered therapy is the forefront of the humanistic psychology. It influenced many therapeutic techniques in the mental health field, learns to recognize and trust human potential, providing clients with empathy and unconditional positive regard to help facilitate change. The therapist avoids directing the course of therapy by following the client's lead whenever possible. Instead, the therapist offers support, guidance, and structure so that the client can discover personalized solution within themselves. So now, let's proceed to the 6 factors necessary for growth in Rogerian theory. Therapist-client psychological contact. This first condition simply states that a relationship between therapist and client must exist in order for the client to achieve positive personal change. The following 5 factors are characteristics of the therapist-client relationship, and they may vary by degree. Client incongruence or vulnerability. A discrepancy between the client's self-image and actual experience leaves him or her vulnerable to fears and anxieties. The client is often unaware of the incongruence. Therapist congruence or genuineness. The therapist should be self-aware, genuine, and congruent. This does not imply that the therapist be a picture of perfection, but that he or she be true to him or herself within the therapeutic relationship. Therapist Unconditional Positive Regard or UPR. The client's experiences, positive or negative, should be accepted by the therapist without any conditions or judgment. In this way, the client can share experiences without fear of being judged. Therapist Empathy. The therapist demonstrates emphatic understanding of the client's experiences and recognizes emotional experiences without getting emotionally involved. Last, client perception. To some degree, the client perceives the therapist's unconditional positive regard and emphatic understanding. This is communicated through the words and behaviors of the therapist. Certain model of theory. As you can see in the middle, that is where the person is placed at the center of the service and treated as a person first. It requires flexible services and support to suit the person's wishes and priorities. According to Carl Rogers, 1959, called this therapeutic approach client-centered or person-centered therapy because of the focus on the person's subjective view of the world. On top is congruence in counseling, also called genuineness. It is the most important attribute in counseling or therapy, according to Carl Rogers. Unlike the psychodynamic therapist who generally maintains a blank screen and reveals little of their own personality in therapy, the Rogerian is keen to allow the client to experience them as they really are. In left side, the empathy is to understand what the client is feeling. The therapist's ability to understand sensitively and accurate but not sympathetically the client's experience and feelings. And last, in the right side, is the unconditional positive regard. Rogers believed that for people to grow and fulfill their potential, it is important that they are valued as themselves. It refers to the therapist's deep and genuine caring for the client. The therapist may not approve some of the client's actions, but the therapist does approve of the client. In short, the therapist needs an attitude of "I will accept you as you are." Evaluation of person-centered therapy. Non-directive and it holds the client as the expert. Focus on person, not problem. Focus on empathy and respecting the client's values. Relationship-centered. Active role of responsibility of the client. And last, person-centered therapy approach was effective for individuals experiencing common mental health problems such as depression and anxiety, and may even be helpful to those experiencing more moderate to severe symptoms. Concept of humanity. Carl Rogers, 1959, believed that humans have one basic motive. That is the tendency to self-actualize, to fulfill one's potential and achieve the highest level of human beingness we can. It is more focused on empathy, congruence, and unconditional positive regard. Thank you for listening to our report. I am Eliza de la Cruz and I'm with my partner, Melanie Luminario, and this is our report about under humanistic theory, Carl Rogers' person-centered therapy.